Okay, so Bhasha, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So what brings you to Scalpology, and also what is your background and what you do?
So, hi everyone. I am here at Scalpology today. I am getting a scalp micropigmentation done. To give you a little background about myself, I am a GP. I've had a long personal passion in hair loss myself, having undergone hair loss myself. And that's come from a journey of being in pageants and modeling for over 13 years myself. I feel like my hair and scalp has had so much of damage over the years because of all the very vicious amount of manipulation that gets done to girls who are in pageantry, in modeling, in media. I'm always getting products in my hair. I'm always having to use heat tools. It's always a lot of trauma, let's just say, to my scalp. And pair that with stress, life in London, and being a very busy GP. I think all of those factors have definitely played a part.
Okay, so when would you say you first sort of noticed your hair thinning? Like what type of period, what time in your life did you notice it thinning?
I would say I don't think I was ever well endowed with very thick hair at the front of my hair. And this is going back even childhood, to be honest. But I think I would say post-pandemic is when I really started to notice that where I would hold my hair in a certain way, I had to start using, thickening fibers or even like eyeshadow or something like that to just hide certain patches.
That's really weird that you say post-pandemic, because I don't know whether there's any kind of connection between the pandemic and hair loss, but since the pandemic, I've had so many more women walk through the door with complaints of thinning hair. Their hair wasn't as thick as it was pre-COVID, whether they had COVID or whether it was anything else. As a GP, is there any connection with that, would you say, or is it just complete coincidence?
So I think I have two viewpoints on this. I think that, first of all, the pandemic really frame shifted in terms of people's perspective on focusing on self, essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of people were in lockdown, the whole self-care industry really took off, and people really started paying more attention to not just corrective measures like getting your hair done artificially, and it really kind of went back to basics in terms of prevention, and there was a huge conversation about, focusing on health rather than just a superficial nature of getting hair extensions. I mean, I don't know if you remember, back in 10 years ago, it was all the craze about getting hair extensions and various, do you remember Cheryl Cole had all the hairspray hair and the back combing? That was all very much 10 years ago, the picture. Whereas post-pandemic, I feel like the hair trends have changed as well. People have really gone back to natural looks and natural sort of remedies, etc. So I think that's one big part of it. But also, I think as a society as well, the pandemic had a huge part to play from health point of view as well, in terms of the stress levels. I cannot really speak for if there was any effect of COVID or even the vaccines.
It's funny you should say that, because people did spend a lot of time looking at themselves in the mirror, and I work quite closely with quite a few surgeons in London, hair transplant surgeons, and they were allowed to keep working because they were in the medical field. They said they were busier than ever. Because people had time to heal, because they didn't have to go to work. So it was a great opportunity for them to kind of get a hair transplant. But I think one of the main things is what you touched on, is the fact that people did look at themselves a lot more in the mirror, started picking holes in their appearance and things like that. So I think it was, I definitely think that's probably a connection between post-pandemic. People did notice thinning, like say stress as well, could bring that on as well. So what kind of emotional impact, did it have on you in terms of, being a female? People kind of talk about thinning hair. It's mainly men that people kind of associate with hair thinning. Now, 50% of our clients are women, okay? And people don't realise that. And one of the reasons why people don't realise that is because we don't always post images on our social media about women, because most women don't want us to sort of get their faces in videos and kind of show the befores of what they look like before. So it's really great that you're here and we can discuss female hair loss, because it is such a big part of what we do. So how did it affect you in terms of confidence or things like that?
So it's really good that you mentioned about there not being a lot of conversation, especially female hair loss. And I do think that there is so much more stigma attached to women's hair. I think there is a general viewpoint that women must have long hair. I mean, and there's a lot of pressure to from media and just what we see on every aspect of media, to always have perfect, luscious, gorgeous hair, no matter the cost. I mean, let's talk about the shoots, and I've been in the media industry, in the glamour industry for so many years. There was endless amount of hair pieces that would get put in my hair, you know, to create a very artificial image of what women's hair should look like.
Yeah.
And this is not just now, this has been for not millennia, maybe hundreds of years, in terms of the wigs and stuff.
It's a misconception of how women should, their hair
Marie
should look.
Antoinette, like what's the vision that we have of that? And I think that there's just such an oversaturation of products to lure women into the idea that they can cover things up. So in terms of, there's like hundreds of products out there to treat hair loss, and also in terms of, you know, if you go to your hairdresser, you can get various different types of hair extensions put in. And I was under that pressure myself when I did Miss England, for example. You know, I got offered to get my whole hair thickened up with hair extensions. I think the emotional impact, if I had to summarize it, is not just for myself, but most women, is panic.
Yeah.
You know, panic, because it really sets into something. It's such a visible thing, and it's such an integral part of being a woman, of having nice hair, so to speak.
And I think the main difference between obviously men and women losing hair is we have a way out. Us men, we can shave our hair. We can shave our hair and just kind of rock the shaved head look. Women don't have that. You know, women don't have that. So with women, it's all about concealing, you know, the hair loss or any sort of thinning areas. You know, with men, you know, we can, you know, go to a pub with our friends, and you know, they'll have a laugh and take the mick. But you know, I think we kind of get over it, and we've got more options than women, is what I'm trying to say. Absolutely,
there's options. I will absolutely not minimize the impact of hair loss in men as well, because I think it can be very traumatic for men and women, for sure. But I think there's also a bit of acceptance. I think there's an understanding. I think there's also a conversation around, oh, you've got high testosterone, you're more likely to lose your hair. So there's almost a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
Whereas there really isn't a positive spin at all as a woman.
No.
Do you really want to be having high testosterone as a woman and thus lose your hair? And also, as we spoke about it, there's such, you will see lots of bold male celebrities. You just will. You just don't see that at all in females. And if they have had hair loss of any type, they're not going to talk about it.
No, exactly.
This is why I want to talk about it.
So what have you done in terms of your journey with, you know, thinning hair? What have you tried? What have you kind of done in terms of what, you know, to try and help your
So I think
situation?
For me, I was quite realistic. I wasn't expecting miracles to happen, but at the same time, I've dabbled, let's say, on the usual minoxidil, which I had a horrible allergic reaction to.
Was that topical or oral?
Topical minoxidil. I had to stop because I had a very, very bad reaction to it. Rosemary oil.
And what was the reaction? What did you?
It's a very contact dermatitis, which is basically like came out in a rash, and it was literally the distribution of where the minoxidil may have come in contact from when I'd washed my hair or something like that.
And let's just talk about minoxidil. As you know, as GP, you know, it wasn't actually designed for hair loss. Minoxidil was a drug designed to lower blood pressure.
Yes.
Right. So you know, these are kind of things that have been designed as a side effect. The hair gain was a side effect. So. And yeah, I've had a lot of clients say that they've had similar reactions with minoxidil, and you can take the oral minoxidil as well, but unfortunately with oral minoxidil you can grow hair in other areas as well that you might not want. So, so you tried minoxidil, anything else?
Yeah, and I also tried things like your herbal stuff, you know, in terms of rosemary oil, which actually doesn't have that much evidence anyway, but also like scalp stimulation with like vibration devices, LED devices, LED light therapy. I tried PRP as well.
With scalp micropigmentation, it tends to be the last kind of point of call, you know.
Forgot to mention hair transplant.
You've had a hair transplant,
yes.
Okay, which is, I'd say probably 60-70% of my clients have gone down that route. So most people that I see have had a journey.
Yes.
Okay, and scalp micropigmentation tends to be the last stop of the journey because they've tried everything else. You know, the lotions, the potions, the drugs, the procedures, and it's a difficult one because obviously the hair loss industry is so big, and it's such a huge money-making industry with such little results, unfortunately. You know, PRP, you know, minoxidil, finasteride, you know, all these kind of drugs and things that people are taking. I'm yet to see someone like myself end up with a full head of hair.
Yeah.
When I see that, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to kind of go for it. But it is difficult because, you know, taking certain medications or topical products which may increase certain hairs to kind of sprout through, they're never, for me, in my experience, they're never really going to be thick enough or the same quality of hair that you have or what you want. So it is difficult. So you said you've had a hair transplant. How long ago was the hair transplant?
Exactly 2 years ago.
Okay.
So they do say 2 years is the time that you should give the hair transplant to truly see the results. But yes, I would say within like the 1 year mark is probably when I got the majority of my results.
Okay, and that was for the hairline? That was
yeah, so I had the hairline,
yeah,
which I'll be honest, I didn't see, I wasn't aware. I didn't understand it very much. I was like, oh, okay, do the hairline too. It was mainly probably my problem area would have been that triangle,
top zone.
Yeah, which is what we call the Christmas tree distribution of hair loss in female pattern hair loss. And I found that area has, even though that, you know, when they were doing the hair transplant as well, I remember thinking, they're spending so long on this front
And
bit.
did you have any on the top then? Did they actually put any on the top?
They did, but they put maybe only a third on the top. And actually, I think they should have probably put more. But they did also tell me that the crown, this area and hairline is going to have poor retention.
Did they explain to you about the shock loss at all?
Tell me about the shock loss. I don't know about the shock
So, I mean, with a hair transplant, again, one of the reasons why, and this is something that I speak about a lot with of my patients, is with hair transplants, it's not only going to a good surgeon, but it's also whether you're a good candidate for a transplant. Now, there's probably a good reason why they worked on your hairline, because you have no other hairs around that area. Now, with a hair transplant, you always run the risk of shock loss, which is like a form of telogen effluvium. Okay, so if you implant a hair next to a live, healthy follicle, you can then end up losing the hairs around that area, which is probably the reason, in my opinion, is why they didn't focus too much on the top, because you may have suffered more shock loss and ended up with less hair than you started. So there is a reason, and again, this for me is something that surgeons should explain to their patients.
I mean, that was explained to me. There was a lot of information giving for sure. I did actually experience a degree of telogen effluvium. Telogen effluvium, for those of you who are not sure, is your hair falling out effectively as a result of a shock to the system. I did experience that about in the first 2 months of getting the transplant. So I was kind of panicking. I was thinking, what's going on? Why am I losing more hair? But then it did come back.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, it may not come back as well, you know, especially when you're so close to a healthy follicle. So, you know, you do cause, some of the incisions can cause trauma to the healthy follicles around the area. But I mean, look, you've had it done, so you've had the hairline done, but you're still a little bit concerned about the top, right?
I think so. I think one of the things that I learned in this journey is that you do become very hyper-focused. And this is something that I kind of have a chat with my own patients as a GP who are going through hair loss about. Sometimes you notice it more than other people, for sure, in terms of the problem areas.
So would you say there's a little bit of body dysmorphia?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you say that's a big thing? Because for me personally, I think that a lot of men and women that come to me probably need a form of, not counselling, but maybe they need something to kind of change their perspective
100%.
About their hair loss. I see people that I think, wow, I wish I was a follicle behind you. You know, they have a really good head of hair, and you know, but then to that person, they're just not happy with their appearance for whatever reason. So I think that's a big part of it as well, I think, isn't it?
100%.
So
I'm comparing myself with photos of myself where I've had full hair and makeup done, where I've had so much product in my hair. And I'm comparing myself to those images because, like, who takes pictures of themselves when they're looking bad, you know? So I think it's one of those things that is absolutely fundamental to this journey about being realistic and having realistic targets. And that's one of the things that when you and I were talking first, thank you for being very realistic with what we can achieve as well.
I think that's the most important thing. I think, again, with whether it's a hair transplant or scalp micropigmentation or any form of hair loss treatment, I think managing people's expectations is the most important thing, because you know, I've never liked to sell someone a dream, and I always like to almost under promise and over deliver. I'd rather do that rather than, you know, kind of promise someone the world and not be able to achieve that. So how did you hear about Scalpology?
I actually was just looking at scalp micropigmentation local to myself. I think it came up first on Google. We had a chat. This is not the first time I've spoken to someone who's doing scalp micropigmentation in London. And actually, my former chats just didn't land, let's just say. I think when we spoke, I think I found myself sort of aligning in terms of the discussion that we had.
And I know you've had the treatment done before. You've had, what, one session before?
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of the treatment, what do you know about the treatment? Kind of, do you know, have you got any knowledge on the treatment?
Yeah,
You understand how it works?
so scientifically speaking, I know it's not as deep as a tattoo.
Yeah.
But it's slightly more superficial. It's at the dermis layer, I think
That's it,
it
yeah,
is.
so the very top of the dermis.
Yeah. And I know that besides obviously the pigment loading itself, which is just like a dot formation, I think.
Yeah.
I know that it can potentially have some benefits in scalp stimulation as well.
Yes. I mean, it's the same as when you know, people go and have like derma rollers or
Yes.
dry needling, you know, that
Yes.
type of thing. So yeah, it can definitely help with some sort of stimulation. But yeah, it's a permanent treatment. So before we start, just to let you know, it is a permanent treatment. It will never disappear. Well, it shouldn't disappear. It should never disappear. It will always be there. I mean, we're staining your scalp with pigment, so the treatment will always be there, but it does lighten.
Yeah.
Okay. It lightens over a duration of kind of on average 2 to 4 years.
Okay.
There's a lot of factors that will make it lighten. Minoxidil is a definite no-no. I know you won't be taking that because obviously you're allergic to it, but the alcohol in minoxidil really affects the treatment. Sunlight is one of the main things that makes it lighten. So I always kind of say to people, if you have a poster in a shop window, the black ink will always fade quicker than any other colour on the poster because it just obviously attracts the light of the sun. So sun exposure does lighten it. But in general, 2 to 4 years is about average. Okay, the treatment that I'm going to be doing for you today is going to be done over a couple of sessions. Okay, so you will need to come back for a second session. It's never done in one session. There's a reason behind this. Okay, if I try to do too much in one go, it will cause too much trauma to the skin and your scalp will just bleed.
Yeah.
Okay, if it bleeds, it just pushes all the ink out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the reasons why people always say to me, oh, yeah, but it's only a small amount, you know, why do we need to do it in 2 sessions? It's because you can't do too much in one area at the same time. Okay, if, like I say, if it bleeds, it just pushes everything out and nothing's going to retain. So you'll end up with, you know, a treatment which is just going to disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the reasons we do it in stages, and we need to kind of wait 2-3 weeks just for the epidermis to kind of regenerate.
Yeah.
And then we can get you back in and then kind of go over that area again. Okay, so just average, what kind of age was you when you kind of noticed, you know,
I would say 26. Yeah.
yeah, so kind of mid-20s, right? And has it got worse in the last year or so, or would you say it's kind of stable?
Probably stable.
It's stable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I've had the transplant.
Okay, and there's a reason why we asked that. Okay, so obviously, if you was saying to me it's been getting worse in the last year, that could potentially mean you're, you know, a stage of hair loss where it could progressively get worse, which means that I will work on the area where you need it today, but then in a year or two's time, if it gets worse, then you may need to come back.
Yeah.
We can always add to it. Okay. Is it hereditary? Like, has anyone in your family got kind of thinning hair?
Yeah, definitely. Dad's side, definitely 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Females? Any female kind of hair loss?
Yeah, my grandma, to be honest.
Yeah.
But she had it as worsened after strokes and stuff.
Okay. So, and you said you've tried minoxidil, you've tried rosemary oils. Have you done PRP, did you say?
I've had PRP.
You've had PRP? Any sort of results with that? Minimal? Minimal.
Didn't it pretty much.
Okay. All right. Okay. And your surgery was, what year was your surgery? Your hair transplant?
2024, January.
January
26th, I think it was.
Okay. And you had FUE?
Yes.
Okay, so FUE is when they take individual grafts from the donor area and put it in the recipient area. Okay, and that's been 2 years. So that's fully matured now. So what you've got now is pretty much what you're left with. Any kind of FUE scarring? I guess you can't see it anyway.
I haven't got a clue.
You
I
can't see
feel
it.
like I have been left with a lot of scalp tenderness.
Right.
I feel.
Yeah, it's very common. Tenderness and also some numbness. Some people find they don't get that feeling in their scalp back as what they used to, but you've had more.
A little bit of, but then again, I've had like various bits and bobs done on my scalp in the same area, so I feel like I get a little bit more tenderness in this area anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think realistic expectations is really important, and scalp micropigmentation is a fantastic treatment because you do get instant results. It's not going to make your hair grow, unfortunately, but we can definitely add the illusion of denser hair with a bit of skin camouflage and kind of creating that kind of density in between the follicles. So yeah, looking forward to getting your treatment done.
That's it. Sounds
Good.
great.
Okay, so yeah, if you just sort of show me where, so a little bit on the crown, yeah, and then as it comes forward, you sort of want to work.
Definitely this middle bit. I can never find it, but when I definitely have, do you see what I mean?
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of work down this we'll cover this section here.
Yeah.
Okay, because that bit's sort of exposed, isn't it?
Yes.
In terms of where your hair parts.
Yes.
And then I'll come down the parting,
Yeah.
and then I'm just going to kind of just bring it out into
Yeah.
that sort of front triangle
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
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 In terms of the hairline, if we just have a look at the hairline. So the hairline, obviously you can see where the transplant is, but there's only so much we can do with this bit, as I explained to you previously. You know, I don't want to kind of bring the pigmentation too far forward, but we can definitely work in the kind of the gappy areas and stuff like that. Okay.
Cool.
Sound good?
Yeah. So first I had the scalp cleaned by Michael, and then he went straight in with getting the pigmentation started. This took about an hour and a half, and the most sensitive areas were definitely the temple areas and the front of my scalp, where I've had the procedures done previously in terms of my hair transplant. I will say though that the whole area did feel painful in general. We did this procedure without any local anesthetic. In the past I've had anesthetic locally applied, but this time we opted to not do it. And yeah, this was my first session. The next video will show the second session of the scalp macropigmentation, so stay tuned. And in that one we've done a very fun little podcast style video with conversations around celebrity culture and hair loss. And I think that's really, really interesting, which you guys will find really, really interesting to watch. And if you like this video, then make sure you like, comment me your questions about SMP, and any questions that you have for Michael, I will send through to him also. And don't forget to subscribe and also press that bell icon. Thank you so much, guys. And make sure you follow Scalpology's socials. I will link that all in the description below. And also have a look at my own socials, which I'll also link in the description below. See you guys later. Mwah. Ciao.